is London with Bitcoin Spike and VIP Trader. I want to shout out to everybody, all the VIP. Bitcoin is rocketing up to the upside. Congratulations to anyone who was long over what? You guys know what we have been professing here is long over 37.5, right? We had that down. I want to talk about a few of the details and where we're at now in terms of the targeting. Let's call it a technique. In terms of the patterns in place, sure, we'll cover them. In terms of the over-under, okay, the over-under of 37,500. It was a follow-up for our 35,000, right? It was a follow-up level for our 35,000, which was our baseline long over, short under on Bitcoin. Okay, so the 37,500, and please pay attention this morning. Hope you're all doing well. We'll cover Tesla, we'll cover NVDA, but the hot action right now is going to be on what, guys? It's going to be on Bitcoin, right? Looking at the details in terms of the over/under, let's remind ourselves that we had the entry, and it was the over/under in this area that really set us apart from anybody else in the market. We started to focus on over a specific level being long, under a specific level being short. What was that? Guys, that was the 200. You remember the 200 weekly, you got that right. I'm not sure I can bring that up, 200, here we go. Now, that 200 weekly moving average was our line in the sand. You guys recall that. I'm gonna discuss something very particular today so that you can understand what we're looking at in terms of our trade tactic. What are the considerations, the variable components that we need to be aware of as we're looking at, we spent the time in this zone and talked about a long-term carry position from this level. We really didn't discuss that precedingly. So this was the level to do it at. Now we've had more acceleration to price action than we've had at any point in time in the run-up. Guys, we had less time spent laterally here, 30 to 30 some odd days, than we had in any of the preceding zones, right? So this is a wonderful, let's just say, discussion for us to be able to have. We appreciate everyone who makes these trades possible. And by that, I mean institutionally or otherwise, guys. Congratulations. If you're a part of a winning team, we want to be on that winning team with you guys here, somehow in the foreground or the background. So looking at the details, 50% rise up and over that 200 weekly moving average. Great. And you would say, well, that was long over. It would have been fine. We would have been just great with a short under. Now, don't let me lose your attention, please. Don't let me lose your attention. We have achieved the move to the upside, which would have been an equivalent to a complete retrace, guys, more than a complete retrace to the preceding low at 15.5, thereabouts. Okay, so that shows the magnitude of the move that we have taken advantage of. And as I start to discuss the importance of the move up and over the 200, the importance of the move up and over 35,000, okay, this was a reinforcing level saying, okay, to ensure our profits, to make sure that we're evenly balanced in the market. We're going to be the group that's going to be long over and short under, right? Absolutely. Why is that? Because you just saw how we've recreated the move to the upside 50%, back to the downside would have been 45%. We're going to be happy either direction. We're going to be happy either direction. 99.9% of the market is not going to be happy in either direction. We are. Okay? We are. Now we're thrilled to have moved to the upside. We like it. It's a little bit more accommodating. Shorts can be more difficult to enter. As you look at your ice cold short engaging now, we pushed, didn't we? We pushed, depending upon your USD or USDT pair, we pushed. We just did. A little bit of a throttle above that specific ice cold short level. But you see on the daily, a nice level of interaction at that ice cold short, fire and ice, doing extremely well. Now, I'm going to bring your attention to the micro and the macro after I discuss one thing. It's going to be on a pattern basis. I need you to pay attention, please. First of all, what got hammered? A near onslaught / assault. Altcoins got trashed. Between last night and today, you got wiped out. All right? Now, if you did not listen to the Saturday stream, please go listen to it. Kindly requested. Kindly requested. What's our focus? Bitcoin, Bitcoin, Bitcoin. These you hold on lightly, guys. Hold on lightly. Never overexposed. I'll tell you, there is an institutional practice of groups being assembled to, guys, drive profits from the likes of Lunaterra Classic, from the likes of, and just understand, Lunaterra Classic, FTX token still trading. Some of these are literal offshoots of criminality, guys. Those quick return thrill seekers in the market, they don't belong with us. You know that. That's what we stand for. We always do. So I reinforced Bitcoin, Bitcoin, Bitcoin. Don't blame me for being wrong. Big shout out to Mike with JP Morgan in Houston, Texas. Big Mike, I hope it's going well. My man, he is infamous for saying, don't hate me because I'm wrong or because I'm right. I'll say that for him. It'll be a joke because I'm wrong. He's with JP Morgan for a number of years. He's a good guy. And he's right a lot more than he's wrong, guys. So anyway, but that's the notion. Reinstilled positive frameworks, quality assets, high liquidity. Look at Bitcoin up 4%. And these guys really got trashed, got hammered when we hit this line a little bit before. When we hit it a little bit before, very difficult. So the fact that we caught the ideology beforehand sets us apart. Focus on what sets people apart, guys. Set yourself apart. That is my only incentive here in terms of my, guys, motivating factor. I want you to be set apart from the market. Don't chase the quick cash. Chase the right moves in the market. You build that profile, meaning what you're focused on, the reasons why, etc., your consistency in trading Bitcoin. What are you going to have an easier time doing? Picking up your short, right? Yeah, you build that profile in terms of who you are to the market, who you are to the exchange. They're going to expect you to pick this up. Things might start working a little bit easier. You're going to be more focused on a nice short entry. So, in the context of the specifics here, what we're going through is the rationale, the tactic. Pay attention. It's not, guys, interstellar, intergalactic theory of relativity, complicated notions, but it is highly, 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 highly important that we focus on this right now. From the 23% up and over long, what does it do? It keeps you in a long, guys. You understand, when profits are accelerating more quickly than they have all year, we're long over a level. It's keeping you in a trade. You understand that? When we are accelerating up and beyond the 35,000, boom, that's another 7%. Tack it on. Tack it on, guys. Put another 7% in the pocket. 37.5. Long over, short under. You come to a distinct period of time here in where you understand, okay, I'm over 37,500. In fact, I've got an order exactly at 37,500. Bam, that picked up to the upside. 12.29%. Hello. Beautiful trade action. Now, this is what you can begin to analyze. And this is the reason I wanted to stream this morning. Aside from Tesla and NVIDIA, let Tesla break out, get out of the green zone if we want to look at that as a nice mover. NVIDIA topped out at that lateral. You guys got that. Just work in the technicals, okay? Work in the technicals. Now, Bitcoin is boss. That's what we're focused on. Look at the level of resistance here, level of support. We'll talk about the pattern dynamics in a moment. However, as you begin to identify and as you begin to further your skill set, okay, your ability to operate in the market, I can bring some technical nearer level of administration potentially with the facilitation or interaction in the market to make this process easier, but it's not been difficult. It's been a literal hit level of support right on 37.5 up to what level? Up to what level? About 42,139. You say, well, that must be really easy just to go long over and short under any specific level. What is the factor here that you need to assess? What needs to be assessed as you look at identifying a next level, okay? First of all, ability to lock in profits, the 12%, right? As we look at the dynamics and the challenges involved in you simply being long over, short under, what starts to immediately come into mind? Well, if I do that, it's going to cost me money, okay? It's just going to cost me money in terms of having a dividing line and executing The biggest challenge, are you awake 24 hours a day? No, right? Biggest challenge, are you awake 24 hours a day? No. So if it's programmed, it's easy. You're going to be able to understand and digest your cost relatively easily, right? But as we were to identify a new specific over or under line, as you figure into your trade, let's just say the trade establishment, of whether or not you're going to continue to leave this open. This is the question today. Do we leave this open? Do we leave this open? What computes into that equation? Realistically computes into that equation. How much did it cost us in this zone? As we were at 37,500, how much did it cost us to operate and to be long over, short under, long over, short under, long over, short under, long over, short under, long over, right? What's the cost factor? Is there a profit dynamic herein? Absolutely, that is achievable to the extent that that is determinative by skill or by the order of human affairs, guys, in terms of the human order of things. How much can you pay attention to the market? Okay, how much can you pay attention to the market? And on one side of it, you're going to make money. Okay, on one side of it, ability to pay full attention, you're going to make money if you can execute into the market. On the other side of the market, you're going to be losing money. I don't want this zone to cost you money, okay? And as we look at the differential built in, and that's going to be just, guys, something that we're going to work towards in terms of a skill development. But as you begin to understand or you quantify your specific cost, pay attention, please. As you were to quantify your specific cost herein, I'm going to say it's a cost. You understand how to make money. You understand Fire and Ice killed it in this zone, right? Even to the extent that it's a break even, or your profits are mitigated by a cost structure here. Okay, even to the extent that it's a break even or your profits are mitigated in this zone, meaning you made money, however, it's mitigated by losses in this zone. I want you to understand, please at least recognize the following. A reset on a price level needs to have some sort of a rational correlation with, we can say, the difficulty with which it is, if we're going to include potentially even outside factors aside from a common execution based skill set dynamic, meaning I need to sleep, I need to spend time with my family, I need to go out of town next week and got some, a football game with the guys, whatever, okay, championship game with guys. All right. Some of it may be skill-based, some of it may be I just can't execute when I see it on the screen versus some of these factors may just be overall kind of life factors. Irrespective, as you look at setting new levels, because this is the most important thing for our group, period, guys. When you catch this move, and we're long, and I'm telling you, hey, a flash and a carry, boom, boom. When we're doing this and we're walking up this ladder, it's not a common practice. It's just not. What sets it apart? What sets it apart, guys? The short under. Bam, bam, bam. Okay, because why? Because nobody's doing that. Nobody's doing that. That was a 6.56% move. Multiple 6 and 5 and this and that moves. Yeah, so when you're looking at distinguishing yourself in the market, battle back into this fact, please, guys. We have gained as much to the upside, 50%, about 48% to the downside, and a complete retracement to the bottom. Would we have cared, honestly, guys, would we have cared with how much I was involved with saying we are long over, short under with a carry position? The short term, take profit, but we need to hammer into this to the upside and the downside and have a position here, right? It was based on a technical dynamic, guys. It was based upon the level of interaction. We're either going to go up or we're going to, guys, we have the potential to cataclysmically just fall back down to a preceding level of support. Worst case scenario, right? But the technical dynamic supported our MO, our function. True? Yes. Now, appreciating the fact that we've gone up as much as we could have gone down, essentially to establish another hit at the downside, right? We're 49% to the upside And yeah, about 45%, okay. Restructure yourself in terms of the benefit to the upside, the benefits to the downside. Continue to do that to yourself in the market. And what starts to happen? Man, you guys remember, speaking of JP Morgan, do you remember JP Morgan getting on TV, nationwide TV, and saying Bitcoin will never go past $42,000 again? There's a good chance that Bitcoin will never, ever go past $42,000 again. Now, I remember that day. You guys remember that day. That was a big day for JP Morgan before we hit 65,000. But what happened? Everybody, guys, lost cash here fighting, buying into the hype, etc. That was a 35% move. What's the bottom line? We don't want to miss these moves. We do not want to miss a 35% move. 35%. Look at the profits on the books right now. Look at the profits. Understand what was just created from 37.5, guys, from 37.5 to current price, 10 to 12%. True? Yes. So when I say we don't want to miss a move for 35 grand, or guys, for 35%, much more than 35 grand, 35%, say 35%, we're speaking the right language, guys. We're speaking the right language. What was this retrace? I'm just curious amidst the way up to the all-time high. About 20%. I don't want to miss a 20% move. What was the volatility here to the upside and the downside? This was 25%. Yeah, 25%. Well, guys, just look at the volatility here. Within a month, this was 35%. This volatility, this knows how to move. It gets busy and knows how to move. Now it's moving to the upside. We covered this last night. There's no problem with saying, well, we just hit 40 grand. We hit it and comfortably rid straight up over it. No problem. No problem. Right? Now, the issue is the following. Before you were to release your position, I want you to have an understanding, and this is really the crux. Aside from appreciating the up from the down and being prepared for either side of it, I want you to appreciate one thing. There is an equation in play that you can appreciate or not that we can start to wrap our mind around in terms of, and actual calculatives, in terms of your cost basis here. Is this, and I'll just say this, in terms of a cost basis, I want to know, first of all, is this specific, let's call it chop, you call it swing trade heaven, it was very nice, but if you're going to call this chop, did this cost me money or not? Continually trying to be long over or short under, did it cost me money? How much can I shrink, and how much, guys, can I get rid of that if we're going to classify that as risk? I need to eliminate that risk. How much of it is going to be technically driven by your execution, your ability to execute, literally as you're pushing buttons in the market, okay, literally with your specific skill set, and it's just literally going to cost you money. How much of it belongs to the exchange? And man, it wouldn't matter if I'm perfect on the exchange. It's just going to charge me money. They're going to make money in this process, right? So it's either a personal skill that could be costing me money or not. It's potentially the exchange that's going to need to make some money in the process of this, right? Or not. And we're very happy with our exchange. But as you're putting together the dynamics of how much this cost you, even in the context of, no man, I made money during this, I made money here. Okay. But was the amount of money that you made, and I still want to know, was the amount of money that you made compromised at all? And to some extent it will be, to be long over, short under. At some point, guys, it's a fact. It's going to cost some money to guys, this is in the form of some failed orders, etc. But it's going to cost some money to play long over, short under. It's not a panacea for the market. It's not a cure-all in terms of all your problems are over in the market. So, and I want to distinguish that even if you made money trading on the swing, how much did it cost you to be involved? I want you to look at that figure, begin to recognize that, A portion of that's going to deal with your skill set, and a portion of that's just going to be operational in terms of your interaction with the market. The exchange is going to guarantee it's going to cost you some money, right? So looking at the profit to cost equation before we launch, I'm bringing that up for a very specific reason right now, because to the extent that you are very comfortable saying, no, I just want another level. I want another level. I want another level. We need another level. We're long over, short under. What is going to dictate that? Reasonably speaking, what's going to dictate that in the market? Okay? Shout out to VIP. Good morning. Hope you guys are doing well. Nice to see Bitcoin up and out. What's going to dictate that in the market is a level of proficiency that you have in your cost, okay? And your execution. How much did it cost you to be over under? Is it prohibitive for you to be over under in this zone? Can you still make money? Even if you're making money swing trading and a consolidation, are you still compromising in terms of the cost and the dollar figure as you get trapped out, stopped out along the way? And I will suggest to you that the makeup of the asset that you're trading, as you look at altcoins, you got hammered today. It may not look like a bloodbath, but it was severe if you were on altcoins today instead of Bitcoin. Glad we focused on it. And so I want to create mentally for you a projection that the next line for you needs to have some correlation, some correlative dynamic being positively associated with your understanding, appreciation, your ability to operate over or under a line. And that the cost consideration for you in operating over or under needs to be tied to the levels, the additional levels, let's say the proximity or the periodicity or the frequency with which you're going to continue to reset. And it's very important for all of us to recognize this, because to the extent that you're capable of over under here, add a profit. The extent to which you're over under here, add a profit. Guys, I mean over long, under short, making money. Over long, under short, making money, and prepared for what? We got to move to the upside. Great. What was that move to the upside? 6%. 6%. Now, can you operate 6% to the downside? If this is still a one-way feature game for you, if it's a one-way ticket, we bought a one-way ticket, man. It looks like this. It looks like, let me do this real quick and shout out, good morning. Our one-way ticket looks like this. That's it. That's it. Okay? Indulge me for a while. Just indulge me while the whole market's going to continue. And you guys know, you just know me, right? You know yourself. You know how you like to operate in the market. There's not a person in any building that wouldn't like to catch the overall end-all be-all short. I know these guys. And that's why they're hard to get. But what we're doing here is the following. What we're doing is setting flat top, flat top, flat top. And what are we doing? We are leaving them all behind. True? Yep. We are just absolutely leaving every one of these behind. So what's happening is what, guys? You are being trained, literally, and invited. It is like a wicked kind of candy, guys. You are being handed out this wonderful, wonderful candy you didn't think existed. I mean, all we're doing is going up over flat tops. That's it. That's all we need to keep doing. What's going to happen? You know, as a matter of fact, what? It's like, okay, you're going to say this, not me. I guarantee you we're going to go down and revisit one of these. And what's going to happen in the market? Okay, listen, guys, listen. What's going to happen in the market? The guy who has built up his stash of cash to $2 million, what happens to him? Oops, that one hurt. Okay? You don't want to know what he started with. He might have started, it can even be this. Guys, you've seen worse. He goes from this to, ouch, that hurt in the account. And I'm telling you, and you know this, if you don't know this, you haven't spent time around a lot of traders who are continually rewarded. I'm not going to say for bad technicals, because what did we have? To the credit of Bitcoin, what did we have? Okay, we had a move, and we said one of two things would occur. All right, we did. So to the credit of understanding technically what we're doing, well, we said we had one of two options. One was going vertical, the other was collapsing. This is exactly what I mean by saying going vertical. Yes, yes, we had two options. One, going vertical, two, collapsing. What do you notice here in this stair step? We have a ton of flat bottom supports, or flat top resistance, I'm sorry, flat top resistance, these green lines, right? Breakout procedures. It's extraordinarily common to go back down to these. True or false? Now, I'm not raining on the parade. We just nailed this. Literally nailed it. 37.5, long over, short under. The dynamic that I want to bring into play and that we need to discuss is the following, guys. As you look at the notion that the reset is in order at some point when you're 10 or 12% above, what does a long over, short under opportunity afford you? It lets you book your trade. It lets you take your cash to the extent that it's going to cost you money to operate an over under here. It's just going to, whether or not it be any of the factors or variables, personal, life oriented, dealing with the, or dealing with the exchange, literal operation of order execution. The first question, do you have an idea of how much this costs to be over or under? Have you gotten a good sense of that? And I'll remind you through this zone here where we had a lot of volatility, okay? Because right now everything's green. We just went up, had a great move to the upside. If we were to, let's throw the hypothetical on here. We had this move. We had two options. One was vertical. The other was what? One was vertical and the other was, or collapse. We prefer clearly we prefer the vertical. We got it. Shout out to everybody trading Bitcoin. See if I can please. Why is this not letting me delete this? Okay. Oh, come on. Huh? Here. It's not going to let me do it. I have to go one by one. Anyway, that was annoying. Thanks, TradingView. Now, as you consider the cost, I just want to reinforce one thing for you. Okay. The determination of your ability to function in the market at, let's say, at a level is going to be a defining factor for you, in my opinion, to set you apart from even the pattern, quote unquote, pattern traders. There's going to be a lot of people who can trade a bull flag, and that community rolls together, and that community understands. They may trade on the complete wrong thing, but that group knows how. Let's say they know what, 50% of how to trade. They know 50% or 25% how to really trade, because we know the max probabilities with Tom Bulkowski, right? Shout out to Big Tom. What's up, Tom? Appreciate all the interaction. As you look at, and I don't want this to be experimental with you. I don't want you to say, okay, fine, I'm up 12%, up 10%. The last level that we called out was 40,000 to the group. Two things can happen from here. Two things can happen. Okay? Let's pay attention. Okay, in terms of this, I hope you guys are doing well. I just want to make sure we get this right, because this is a very important issue we haven't discussed. What's your projected cost in here? Even to the extent that it's a projected cost, please pay attention. To the extent it's a projected cost that's mitigating into a profit equation for you. It's like, man, look, I show up and I'm going to make money on the market. I want to make sure I also have a long over, short, under carry. And two, competing tactical componentries there, right? Okay, I'm going to swing trade this, and I'm going to be long over, short under. How much time is that going to give you to really pay attention to any of these side peripheral altcoins, honestly, and maintain any sense of mental decorum? It may be very, very challenging, right? I'm going to swing trade this proficiently, make money, and I'm going to be long over, short under, and I'm going to catch 5 or 10 peripheral trades an hour. That's a lot. That's a lot, guys. The main consideration for me, because we've been on this routine and we've been doing very well, extremely well, guys. You should be very proud of yourself. I'm very proud of each and every one of you in this group, period. You know that. You know that. Goes without saying, literally, but I say it. It's okay. So the 50% jaunt from the 200 weekly, I just want you to be comfortable with the fact that someone here is going to reinforce a long over short under notion. Now, I'm going to shout out to Venus. Why? She told me, and this was on her own. This was on her own. Venus, shout out. What did she tell me? We were on the phone this night. She's like, oh yeah, I killed this short here on Tesla. I'm like, you did what? And I won't take any of the credit. I rained on the parade as much as I could have without legally trying to get it forcefully closed, right? It was a difficult, it wasn't a fan of anything going on in this zone, but she hit the button, boom. That's a nice short. Reinforced by what on the daily, 20 moving average holding, we see, okay. But that's a nice trade, Venus. Very, very, very nice trade. We didn't get up and out, did we? Beautiful trade, beautiful trade. Now, do you feel that energy? Me just talking about it and everything, wow, that's a nice trade. We could have talked it into the dirt a bit more, but in terms of that, she nailed it. She hit the button on that. So I'll tell you, it's going to be potentially unpopular to approach this issue of long over, short under, until you catch a trade. Until you catch a trade and you're sitting there like, I nailed that. Now, crypto doesn't close down. It's like, we've got this. This is Tesla. Bam. Beautiful short. Beautiful, 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 beautiful short. Especially on Tesla. A very exclusive club that can do that on Tesla. Shout out. Congrats, Venus. Pleasure to be building with you this year. Beautiful, beautiful. So in terms of what, guys? In terms of the dynamic of over, under, first of all, stay plugged in. Make yourself distinct from the market wherein participants are only looking up. They're literally only looking up. Guys, we would not have cared if this had gone back down to retest 15.5. Between CZ, Binance, and everything else involved, don't tell me that we shouldn't be prepared for, reasonably prepared for, downward price action. I want you guys to own this process, and in the context of that, just mentally, the framework that it brings to mind, be with the one group that's going to say we're going to own it over or under. And I want that to be a small, very capable group. Yeah? We'll be in the group, nice, short Venus. Beautifully well done. Beautifully well done. So, between the cost consideration, and first I really do, as I bring this discussion home, talking about the challenge of what? Man, it's a challenge because all of these altcoins are about to just start moving. All these altcoins are literally just gonna start to move. They're gonna start to just skyrocket, aren't they? I don't know, guys. I don't know. Bitcoin's up 4%. You see the money being taken out of people's pockets here? Big time, guys. Big time. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Money taken out of people. Oh, yeah. Pockets. With Bitcoin where? Yeah. So, with Bitcoin right there. Bam. So understand and appreciate the psychological dynamic of reinforcing ability to be long and short. It's going to separate you from everybody. It is separating us from everybody right now. What's the big deal? The big advantage you have, aside from, well, I'm a bull, I want to be bullish. Great. If you're up and over, you are nothing but bullish and you're extremely comfortable. You are so comfortable, guys. You are so comfortable in your position? No, because you have something to rely on. No, I'm long over this position, period. Long over. In terms of the execution, can you try and spend some time today? And we'll go through this week. It's important enough as we go through fourth quarter to explore this and really concretely solidify this. As we look at the cost for you to be over under, whether or not it's a flat out loss in the equation until we move, That's not what we want, because there are plenty of opportunities here to make cash. 5 and 6% drops all over the place while we're trying to hustle up, get a perfect entry on our call, and bam, to the upside. True? Yes. So this should not be negative. It should not be negative. I don't want it to be negative. But there is a cost consideration in here. As you guys get into lower time frames, you know that threading the needle there is expensive. It can be. The good thing is we're in an accelerated move here, quicker than we have been all year long. But please spend some time this week, and I'm happy to spend time with you, to the extent that we're looking, how much does it cost to thread this needle? Because if threading the needle, which just means long over, short under, if this starts to eclipse this, the long over, short under, then we got to talk, right? We cannot let there be a lack of congruency or a rational level of operation between the cost here, right, and the profit here, and the profit here. The notion that you could be operating at a loss if you're trying to execute long over, short under is as trappy as any busted pattern could ever not want to be without a potential stop loss, right? We need to make sure that if I give you a level, or you give yourself a level, you say, well, this is a psychological level. This is $40,000 on Bitcoin. I want to look back at it, and I want to be the guy who owns it long over or short under, right? What's going to be the difference between that guy and the guy who says, no, at 41,000? Man, that's fine. I'm gonna push into this one. 41,000. Man, come on. I'm at 42,000. Oh, okay. So there's going to be a guy at 40,000. Oh, that's cool. Then there's going to be another guy at 41,000. He's going to own it long or short, over, under. Yeah. Then there's going to be what? Well, that's no problem. Watch me roll. Watch me roll. Where am I at? I'm at 42,000. I own 42 short right now. Let's do this real quickly. And this is just what I wanted to cover for you to all have some sort of a visual. And it's just important to hear these things. Let's say 38,000. Let's go with 39. There we go. Now, if we're looking at, let's place these markers where, okay, fine, ideally we'd like to, and you're going to be able to answer this question. I'm not going to give you some sort of an equation you can't answer. Looking at stair steps, if we call them stair steps, okay? Each one about $1,000. We got that right? Come on, play nice. It doesn't want to play nice. Okay, each one about $1,000. You guys got that? $1,000 intervals. Boom, 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 boom. Now, the equation, you guys already get it, right? But it's important for us to discuss it. Do not spend, please, to the extent that you're spending your money that this makes trying to redefine or even pattern trade, aside from a long over, short under, to the extent that you're costing yourself a decent part or even a bulk of this price block doing this, or a bulk of this price block doing this, right? You're threading the needle, and it's taken away it's literally taking away half or 3/4 of this price level. It's literally going to take half or 3/4 of this price level. You tried to do it here. It took about 1/4 of this price level away. And you guys, you're doing it right now here, let's say right in the middle. No, you understand. Because what does that do? That turns this move, this sweet move of 12% or 11%, it turns it into the functional equivalent. We lost a 3/4 here, 3/4 here, half here, 1/4 there. It's going to turn it into a move that was about this big. That was about, overall, about 3%. And what'd you do in the meantime? It was mean time. You literally got hammered back and forth in here. So what's the point? What's the big overall point as we look at an over-under? We look at an over-under. Guys, you guys, nicely done. I'm going to say nicely done. Your returns have proven what we got going in terms of strategy and tactic. Plan for it only to get better in 2024 and beyond. Doesn't even sound right to say 2024. As we march up the price blocks, okay, as we march up these price blocks. Nice and clean, right? Beautiful. A little bit difficult. As we're redefining these price blocks, please pay attention to the fact of the following. Just pay attention to the fact. What I'm going to recommend is that the more that this costs you on the macro or on the micro, I'm going to suggest that you review this ideology, okay, this approach, this tactical approach, that the more that this is actually costing you money, the less you need to trade, okay? The more that this is costing you money up and over at any of these levels, and that it's not a profit equation already, and please listen, this is going to a good place right now. If this is costing you buku bucks to be long over, short under, okay? Nothing could be simpler or more straightforward or more important in the market. I own Bitcoin at $69,000 when we were at 16 in the form of a short. That statement in and of itself, okay, is probative of the value of this level, a hypothetical level of operation. Now, I'm not saying we're going to experience extreme volatility like that, but what's important, guys? What's important? The notion that if this costs you more to achieve, I just would recommend, and you already know it, if this is the case at all, you already know what. And now pattern breakouts in and of themselves will do this to you. They'll make you pay to play, won't they? They will. But to the extent that let's go here. To the extent that your equation looks like half of this is being eaten up at every level with your operation and you're not proficient technically, and it's either this, guys. Either technically you're not operationally proficient in the market to execute over or under, or it's a lifestyle issue and you've got family, friends, or a international football game, league match coming up and you got to be out of town and you can't execute. It's either a technical skill set or it's a lifestyle issue or it's an exchange issue. If it's any of those, it doesn't matter. It's creating a negative impact here within the cycle of price, and I want you to begin to assess a bit how far away you want your price levels to be, okay? How far away do you want your price levels to be? And it is governed by the level of cost associated with your execution, either north or south, of whatever designated price. You could do this every 250 bucks. You could do this every $1,000. You could do this every $5,000. Yes, you could do this every $5,000. You could do this every $10,000, right? If we were to say do this, let's pay attention real quickly here. Hope you're all having a great day. If we were to do something like this, if I was to do something like this is easy. This is the easiest equation I know of. Literally. I'm going to leave it just like this. In fact, let me do this. Let me do this. Let me do this. And then see if it'll let me do this. Now, pay attention. To the extent that there are a certain number of levels, I've just divided it up, and we're operating within a dynamic of, let's just say we're going to play line to line here. All right, about 6,500 bucks. Valid? You betcha. No problem. Yeah, we're long up and over. That's fine. That's fine. I'm going to stay long up and over. My next level is $43,283. No problem. This is just literally based upon a standardized 10 threshold, okay? You got 10 targets here, okay? Don't pay attention to the way that this is laid out. It's not in a typical, I'll reverse it just because that's the way that we draw Fibonacci's, but it's not intended to be necessarily a Fibonacci. It's a flat scale 1 through 10, okay? Flat scale 1 through 10, marching up and along, fits the trade dynamics for a specific level trader, involved in a specific exchange, having a specific lifestyle, right? With a certain skill set. Easy does it. Nice and slow and no problem, right? Easy does it. Well, then the trader moves on along and says, well, you know what? I've got this down. I understand this and I'm making money at it. And I'm going to be doing this for the residual of this year and next year, hey, all right. Now, trader has a bit more of a challenge. Operationally, has 20 levels. Now, the function here is the following, that you're understanding the complications, the costs, the lifestyle, the skill set application, from the family to friends to the psychological tendencies, ability to operate in the market, whether it be skill, life, habit, or whatever you got going on, guys, or from an exchange level complication. You agree? Yeah. Now, that becomes, as we look at more levels involved, what are the transaction costs in this? As we look at this, what are the transaction costs in this? Guys, what do you think the transactions costs are in 20 levels? You know for a fact they're going to be higher. There are going to be more transaction costs. True? Yes, because you have 10 levels. Let's bring it down to a lower time frame as you start to look at the benefits and the complications in terms of having an over-under strategy. It's like, well, you know, I'm going to walk this thing up. I'm going to walk this up with 20 levels between the preceding and the current. I want to execute it in each and every one of these. And now, yes, we have fire and ice, right? We just hit fire and ice on the daily. This is where you start to think of, it'd be nice to have two desks, right? Either you with 4 arms and 2 desks, or, you know, a few different traders at a few different desks. One covering the swings, one covering the over and under, and the multiple levels of over and under that you would want from this hit into the daily. You got it, guys. You know this. This hit into the daily ice cold short. You know, I want a swing trade, and I want a flash trade and a carry trade from this 42,000, right? Now, I've thrown all these levels up just to start to discuss where you're at. Because as I'm in the back, I don't want it to be, if I say we're long 40 over, $40,000, we're long over. $40,000, that was last night, right? We're long over. We broke out very nicely. That's me giving you some security in the fact, okay, good, we're long. Now, what is it? It's a fact, guys. It's a fact. It's not, well, we're going to listen to London. No, we're over $40,000. We're long over $40,000. But what did it help you do? It helped you stay in a position for 5.46% to the upside. Now, when it helps you stay in a position, you can have the mentality and that assistive there. What is the problem? No problem. I'm just going to do it again right here, right? As you start to do this, understand the cost considerations. Understand that it's not a free meal ticket in terms of operation in the market. And this is just my challenge to you. It's been a decently long, we talked about this for an hour today, but I'm on the record talking to you for an hour about the specific skill set that you've got, the personal dynamics, lifestyle, otherwise, friends, guys, whether or not the execution of these levels will accommodate your skill set, accommodate your lifestyle, accommodate the exchange. When Bitcoin's rocking and rolling, we don't anticipate problems. We'll get into heavy volume situations, et cetera, with any exchange. I mean, for heaven's sake, you can't mention a major retail broker on Wall Street or institution or otherwise that doesn't deal with volume issues. It just happens. So as we look at further participation to the upside, the solution to me is going to continue to be, but I have spent an hour on this for a reason. I want you to look at your costs. I want you to look at your skill set. And I want you to be able to adequately, if I am throwing around, and we spent an hour on this, okay? Deal. Because it's extremely important. If I am saying we are long over or short under, right? Yes. If I'm saying that, but your cost is going to be prohibitive of you establishing a new level, we ain't doing that, guys. We're not doing that. I am not going to establish a new over-under. Pay attention, guys. And why would that be? Because we have at the 200 weekly a 50% move. There is no way in the world I am going to let the potential occur that, well, it's a 50% move, but man, I have chewed up so much in terms of exchange, being over and under and just getting whipsawed, and I've got to sleep at night. We just had 2 brand new kids, or whatever's going on in your life, or I've got a pro hockey game and match coming up, whatever it is, guys. You're not hockey players, but pro hockey players, but you understand. I am not going to be on the record as just complacently saying, that's no problem, just go and, cut that 50 down to a 10% overall real threshold here. Oh, I know it costs money here, who cares? I know it costs money here, who cares? I know even here it costs more money than you ever made up to here. Guys, it's a profit equation. If the profit equation is not making sense to you, then back off of it, please. But in the process of it, as you work on your execution, just understand that the cost, your cost here, even if it's mitigated against your or balanced against your profits, is going to be what? It's going to feed into, and it should feed into, the frequency within which you decide to reset. Okay? So don't worry about it, London. Check it out. No, I'm money, guns a-blazing. Let's rock and roll. Good. Rock and roll from here. No problem. I'm guns a-blazing. I am positive. I am positive, positive, positive. I'm not turning, this is it, guys, I'm not turning 20% into the equivalent of like 4% after I get chewed up in this zone. If that's happening, you need to become consistent. 100 rounds. Within that dynamic, if you've got some big time carry trades from here, hey, perfect. Rock them and roll them, right? And I'm not trying to run your accounts, you know that. I'm trying to provide this morning a dynamic of the following. The more that each price block costs, the more that each price block is costing you, even as a transactional cost against your profits, you need to start making considerations for lengthening your specific expectations between the blocks. Okay? No problem operating in here at profit, guys. Some great moves over the last month occurred in here. But if it's chewing into the equation, you got it. I know you get it, but we need to spend time on this. And you know we do. You know it is not ill-conceived in terms of the amount of time we're spending. Now, let's go through one thing real quickly. Let's get through. This is the pattern in play right now for everybody. We brought that up yesterday before we hit up into the level of resistance. Nice hit into resistance on the 4-hourly. Hit one, say 1, 2, and then 3. So this is the dynamic going on right now. If you're looking for the pattern trade, easy answer, no problem. What are we ultimately interested in right now? Pay attention. If you're looking for overs and unders, and the solution is, well, it does cost me some money, and at least it's mitigated against what it would otherwise be if it weren't in my trade portfolio. What do we have here? What do we have? If we're going low, these are snapped too. This is as accurate as you're going to get on TradingView. I promise, at least on BTC USD, okay? I promised, okay? Looking at that, looking at this is a correct chart, is what I'm telling you, okay? Looking at the framework of BTC, we're going to draw from the low. Pay attention, okay? We're going to draw from the low, and I'm going to bring it down to the actual low on the USD chart, which is slightly below this preceding low, and it may differentiate on USDT, okay? Noted, this is Bitcoin index on TradingView. I'm going to draw from the low. I'm going to draw it literally up to the absolute high. I'm going to maximize this cup and handle on the wicks, the most aggressive reading that we can get, and I'm going to draw our breakout from low to high at this specific level here. Bam, bam. 31,830 is the breakout. I'm choosing not to consider this as a rounded bottom, but instead as a cup and handle. A rounded bottom, I'd be interested in this right here, okay? That would be the break point. That would be the takeoff zone. I am not using this point deliberately. Understood? We got it. Now, as we look at these specifics from the low to high to low, we have hit what? 41,937. What is that, guys? What are each of these? What are each of these? They are levels, they are targets, they are levels that we would love to hit to the upside. And what are they, guys? They are perfect, perfect, perfect intro beginner level, capable of being fully understood and rationally technically expressed and reinforced, even from an exchange perspective. Oh, I see. The trader is trying to simply own the distance between the 23.6 and the 38.2. I see. Oh, the trader is trying to own the distance between the 38.2 and the 50%. I see. Oh, I see. The trader is trying to own the distance between the 50% and the 61.8. I see. Now, the issue being, to the extent that you can operate more aggressively herein, please, please, please do so with a full line and level of consideration as to whether or not these specific moves are being profitable, because I will really challenge you to show me a data set and a trade profile of someone who's someone who's incurring costs on this level of a strategy. If you're incurring costs and you're becoming more aggressive, I will put up trade returns, guys, in terms of someone who's not incurring costs. And we will find a correlation between the number of levels, the cost, and the overall profit in this in this zone. Okay? It's the right answer. You feel it's the right answer in terms of over or under, even on the hit of the 61.8. But it's only the right answer if you can trade it for money and it's not costing you. It's not costing you. And I just, with the considerations that have been brought up this morning, is about your skill set level and the asset that you're trading, your personal dynamics in your life, and the exchange that you're using are going to dictate these levels that you're going to be able to or not really expect to be able to engage in at profit. You may be on the wrong exchange, or you may have the wrong lifestyle. You may have zero trade ability in terms of your tactical expression. Your best choice could be an entry here, and I'm just going to hold, right? The trader would say is, that trader, every button I push, it just costs me money. Every button he were to push or she were to push. Or you may be on the other end of the spectrum, guys, and so highly proficient and know, and you will know. You'll know. Now, I've got, I don't need, this every, these specific levels. I've got a comfort where I can execute this at any point in time on any pattern anywhere, right? As you're limited at all in that equation and you're assessing your ability to function in the market, as you look at Bitcoin, as you assess your ability to operate at any specific target level or otherwise, guys, let's look at this. You may say, no, I know I can operate at each and every one of these levels. You're going to know, guys, before you really have to do the analysis. You guys going to agree with me there? You're going to know before you have to dig in and say, how much tolerance do I have? How well can I go over or under here? You're going to know from your lifestyle to the exchange to anything that needs to be integrated into that. You're going to know. So the recap on this morning is self-assessment, right? In terms of the nuances in play, and just a realistic look as to whether or not this is suitable for you right now. And if it's not as suitable, pattern trading is fine. There's no problem. But you are getting an onslaught here of anything beyond the hyperbolic move. You were just literally being encouraged to dismiss what the market has shown us all year long. And so it's a bit of a psychological journey. No retouch on flat top. 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 This we got to retouch on flat top. Bam, okay? And the stair-step dynamic is just one that we like to see up and over and bam. We like to reconfirm and then swing back to the upside. We don't have that dynamic in play. We don't have that here, guys. We don't have that, right? So we don't have that here. You guys see? We don't have that reconfirmation. We don't have that here. You guys see that? We don't have that reconfirmation. So as that is occurring and occurring and occurring, there's just value in being able to operate either long or short. I'm not raining on the parade again, but I just want to encourage you as we reset things in the back, and we'll continue to do this. And it's just a good talk. Make this a project for the next, we can make it a project for the next week, and it can carry over for the next 6 to 8 to 12 months. Listen up on that. It's not going to be a distraction. If anything, distraction was what? Anything other than Bitcoin. True or false? So give me a little bit of credit here in terms of the cataclysm that was unleashed on altcoins. Yeah. That was a big stream for me on Saturday. I really wanted to reinforce that. Hold on to it lightly. Don't put all your eggs in one chicken. What is it? Maybe not all your eggs in one chicken. There you go. What is a 9% drop on Solana today? Ouch. How did INJ do? Oh, those little guys. How did INJ do? No problem, no problem, no problem. 20% to the downside. Hey, welcome to the team, they say at Team Rune. How did Rune do? Oh, I don't know, a 13% drop. Boom. How we doing, guys? Okay, so when I'm talking about Bitcoin, when I stream on Saturday and say, forget all the tangential, guys, those are big drops. Those are potentially monumentally destructive. You agree? Yes, you agree. I know you do. Bam, 13% down on Rune today. But Bitcoin's up 4%, 3%. You got it. INJ, hold on. 20% drop on INJ just today. It's a 15-minute chart. What are these trashy assets doing on my screen, you'll say? Everything was supposed to go up. It sure was, wasn't it? And what happened? It didn't go up, did it? So the guy who said forecast, hey guys, Bitcoin, quote me, is telling you, please, kindly, if you would indulge me, work on the cost assessment, your skill set assessment, and be honest with yourself about how good you've become at the over or under. And if you'll be honest with yourself in terms of being able to assess that and how frequently or not, how capable or not, either your skill set or the asset, okay? It may be a liquidity of the asset issue, but your skill set, the asset, your exchange, your lifestyle, is this going to work? Is this going to work for you either? Hello, how we doing, guys? And just work with me here. Is this going to work in terms of, well, okay, fine, I can do it, but with my schedule and my skill set, with this asset, as I understand it, and with the dynamics of what? Within the dynamics of the exchange. I just need a few levels. I'm gonna back off a little bit. These are perfect. Screenshot it. We nailed it. Boom. So did the daily short, right? Boom, 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 boom. So what are we over? 41,937. Call it 42,000. Okay. What are we? We're long over. Fact, you got it. We're long over. We're short under. Now, if your skill set does not accommodate at least these levels, then I'm going to challenge you to develop this in your trade game, period. You got to do it. Because whichever one of these levels decides based upon the outflow or, guys, the speculation from CZ, Binance to whatever else in the world, Mt. Gox, right? Well, the judge decided to not delay their payout again. Oh, I see. So the price of Bitcoin's ultimately determined upon the slam of a gavel, which if we knew the information on, we would literally, if we traded, we'd probably go to prison. Oh, I see. Great. Work on your macro levels, right? Some of these are going to engage. How did this engage? Hello. Hello, beautiful. Boom, 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 boom. Bam. Yeah? So, current level 41,938. Do we still have 40? Yeah, we still have 40. Long, over, short, under. Execute it. I know you guys can at least execute the 42,000, the 40, and these are just this is your intro, these are your intro levels. If you decide based upon the cost considerations, and I'm real big on the cost considerations because it's hugely important for me to not let you, this is the difference in the trader. Pay attention. This is the difference. We know, please pay attention to this, guys, is the difference between the following. The difference between the 23.6 needing to hold to the 50%, right? We're up and out. We're at the 23.6. Well, I can't even execute long over short under here effectively on either the asset with my skill set, with my lifestyle, or with the exchange. I cannot execute. If I get out, it's gone. So you cannot tell that trader, right? What is the trader forced to do? Well, the trader knows max probability is 50%. Traders either got to take a percentage here, hope he doesn't go back here, right? Simple reconfirmation, no problem. No problem. We have been coached on this with equities and everything else. This is almost guaranteed, but not. So long over, short under. The trader who can't do it, he's in a bind. He's got a lot of pressure on him, negative pressure on him. Fact. Is it the same thing at the golden pocket? I think it's the same thing at the golden pocket, guys. We still have a higher target. I mean, this is kind of the percentage which everyone gravitates towards. But like the trader who's going to look at his cost equation, his operation ability in terms of skill set, et cetera, he's going to say, I can't let this go. I have to at least go for here, or maybe I always go for the golden pocket, or I have to hold on for dear life and go for the full 48, right? Your skill set's going to determine the degree to which you can literally functionally trade. So if I get more aggressive in terms of the over-unders, because they've worked so well now, you guys just see it in terms of the mentality, bravo, the specific advantage they bring us, we're long over, bam, 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 bam. So if you're over such and such, you look at the prices like, man, I'm long. You're not looking at the pattern, you're not digging in, you're not afraid of what could happen or this, that, or, no, you're long. That's it. We're over said price, we're long. Or we're under said price and we're short. You get involved in a pattern and start saying, okay, well, we may be breaking out soon. Okay, so as you look at the specifics here, you're somewhere in between the trader who, and let's just say, guys, the market is going to find them somewhere in between this guy who's stuck at the 23.6 when we had broken out here, and he's like, man, I don't know. We're either going up here. I know that's a max probability, but we could go down here. That's a nightmare, right? Let's build in the ability to be over, long, under, short. Build the cost equation. There's going to be a cost, even if it's mitigated against your swing trades. And the better that you can harness that and articulate into the problems with your execution, the specific, let's say within your own skill set. Do you have deficiencies in your own skill set? Do you have deficiencies, or you're going to argue, well, maybe the exchange is a little deficient. It's not all my problem, right? It's like, well, maybe I'm playing too much football. You know, it's like, I know it's football season, but this kind of a move, I guess, happens like once every 2 years, kind of. You know, it's a big move to the upside, at least. It's, you know, every once in a while, this move happens. Maybe I shouldn't go play air hockey every night for 2 hours, whatever, guys. But whatever needs to be adjusted, whatever needs to be considered, focus on your equation in terms of what it's costing you, either through your lifestyle or and it can be through your asset. Okay, with your alts, et cetera. It can be, no, it's impossible for me to pick an over-under on CAS. It just is. Or it's impossible for me to pick an over-under on Atom. It's just going to throw me around too much. I cannot do it. If that's the answer, forget about it. You guys got it. Forget about it. It may be impossible for you to over-under with Bitcoin. There may need to be some additional adjustments made based upon your complaints. I just can't do it. It just kicks me out of my stop loss every time. So you can't, let's say you can't operate with an over, long, under, short, and any reasonable degree of protection against risk. Okay, great. How do we adjust that equation? How do we fine tune that engine? There are ways to do it. But not if you don't make the assessment, the realistic assessment, and we're unable to communicate about what the deficiencies are, either in the asset or in the exchange, or it can be, guys, and this, I'm not a lifestyle coach, you know that, huh? Every day I have to go hit the iron, that's just me, guys. But between that and, guys, just your technical abilities, do understand that, as I mentioned, from the exchange to the asset to the lifestyle to the skill set, the more problems that you have in trading, you can call it at a specific level or otherwise, but the more problems that you have in trading, okay, in those dynamics, and the more just concern that those issues cause you, as I list them out even and mention them and list them out, I want you to be assured of one thing. The cost factor is an equation. It's either plus or it's minus, right? And to the extent that this is costing you money, let's figure it out. Okay? Let's figure it out. Because I like this as an over-under. I like this as an over-under. I like this as an over-under. I like anything else meaningful, this as an over-under. I like this as an over-under. So you ask me, I'm not quite at the, and yeah, I'd like that as an over-under. I'm going to take the flat tops that I see, and I'm going to turn them into over-unders, is what I'm going to do. Is that aggressive? Yeah, it's pretty aggressive. Does it make sense? Is it based on, is it literally formulaic with New York Institute of Finance? Yeah. You don't have to really even know where to look. It's pretty self-evident on that issue. But as we start to look at, let me just drop this down. But as we start to look at, and let me hide just for a moment, Fire and Ice. Guys, a great weekend. So glad that we focused on Bitcoin. Congratulations to everyone who did. Right, that's VIP, that's what's going on. Hey, don't hide the price. I can't get rid of Fire and Ice right now. For some reason, it doesn't want to let me. There we go, boom. So this is where I start to look at it, and I can provide this tool to the extent that it's going to be efficient. I'm working on a multi-array function for you all to be able to interact with specific levels like this. But before I were to do this, and we're going to get into this, this is long over, short under, long over, short under, long over, short under, long over, short under. I just want to be assured that you're going to do the personal inventory, and that I'm not inviting you to destroy your profits on a really nice run in the market. We agree? Please. So that's my 2 cents today, and the takeaway is going to be this. And this is good, this is a great thing to realize at the start of this week as we're pounding through, getting into the first real week of the end of the fourth quarter. Pay attention. When I mention it could be skill set, it could be, let's say a skill set in terms of your ability to execute. It could be what? It could be like lifestyle. It's just like, there's not enough time in the day for me to be involved in the market. I'm too busy. It could be what? It could be the exchange, right? And it could be what? What else could it be? It could be like, guys, the actual asset itself. We might want to change the order of these. This could be the asset, right? The asset could be number 1. The skill set could be number 2, right? It could be lifestyle. It could be number 3. It could be like, well, I don't trade while I'm drinking. It's like, well, all you're doing is drinking all day, right? So it could be, I don't recommend that ever. Like looking at the fourth. So it could be the asset, it could be the skill set, it could be the exchange, and it could be the asset, the skill set, the exchange, and lifestyle. Let's say that, okay? Now, as you perfect these, pay attention. This is the good part. As you perfect these, what are we going to expect? What are we going to expect with this? Well, I'm going to expect you to be able to operate here. I'm going to expect you to be able to operate here. Be able to expect, and guys, you or just anybody, not you, anybody who can perfect, okay, it's the right asset, we got it. All right, right skill set, we got it. All right, the right exchange, we got it. All right, the right lifestyle, we got it. And what is that? Each and every one of these is no problem. Boom, 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 bam, boom. And so what I want to create in terms of the impression, in terms of as we look at the fourth quarter, if you'll give me a little bit of leeway into focusing on the dynamic, at least for now, that I want to present, that the better each and every one of these is, the asset, the better that is the skill set, the better that is the exchange, the better that is the lifestyle. You're going to go from, and this is how it plugs in. And it's nothing that you're doing wrong. We think through 1, 2, 3, 4. It's like, oh no, I'm trading the wrong asset. Oh no, my lifestyle's off. Oh no, the exchange is off. And oh no, my tactics are just miserable. Whatever it would be, whatever order you want. What's the point? As you improve asset, skill set, exchange, and lifestyle, as you mark these off, and lifestyle is a accommodation in terms of your interaction with the market. It could be thrown into skill set, but you got to know when to hold them and know when to run, right? Like every time I go jogging, every time I go to the gym, the price cranks to the upside. You got to be able to adjust that somewhat in a 24/7, 365 market. But as these improve and as you assess them realistically, it is so hugely important. I hope you guys get it. But as you say, copy that. I got it. Why? Because you weren't forced to take prematurely here at the 23.6. You didn't have to be concerned over a move down. You were ready to trade it for a move up. Same thing here. In fact, you got so many shorts back down. This was a beautiful level at the 38.2. This was easy, boom, boom, straight on through. We called it last night up to the 61.8. The more that you can get that asset down, we talked about that, get the skill set down. We're working on that, right? And it's developing, guys. It's awesome. The more that we can get the exchange, constantly making improvements on that, guys. Shout out to those guys. Great guys. And then the more just the lifestyle componentry fits in. And when I mention the things that could be problems, guys, they could be problems with me, they could be problems with you. But the better that each of these gets, guys, the better you're going to be. You're not going to be handcuffed here in terms of the 23.6, and I don't know, I got to take, and I'm completely at the whim of whatever CZ, Binance, or the judge wants to gavel up or down. No, you're actually trading. Same thing, 38.2. No, you're actually trading, yeah. So if any of these cause concern or otherwise, I just want to encourage you. And the big situation is this: this is trading. We're talking about how much you're able to trade. Literally, are you able to trade on micro? Those are just guys. Those are more trades. The notion here that you're going to have more over or unders than just this. The 42 is an over under. The 40,000 is an over under. It's hugely relevant. We just hit 42, the 61.8. We just passed through this 40 last night. Do you want a 41? Can you trade it? How relevant is it now? It's immediately relevant. And we have discussed all of the issues that need to go into the formulation of the equation. And we've discussed the issues that need to be, guys, it's not about causing more stress. It's about relieving stress, right? The market's doing plenty fine, just so that you know. This is a low intensity discussion. It's an inspirational one to get you to line out the factors and to appropriately, empirically, right, objectively look at how much I can trade. To make the decision as to right now, as we're between 41 and 42, if I'm firing on all cylinders, and I've got the asset, I've got the skill set, I've got the exchange, and I've got lifestyle, just in terms of the guys, I keep saying lifestyle, but just any type of wild card that we thrown into the mix from your own schedule, etc. If you've got the 1, 2, 3, 4, then 41 is your level. And I mean it like an enforceable $40,000 and an enforceable $42,000. And it won't make much sense to you. It's like, well, we're up, we're going up. Well, there's kind of like, almost 5% between 40 and 42. And there's kind of like already 1.8% to a potential like 4.66% below here. There is, from 41, there is a 2.27%, and back to 42, and to the downside, there's another 2 almost 2.5%. And so as you're looking at executing, you're going to play the 41. This is it. You're going to trade the 41 if your skill set, your cost, let's just wrap all up the 1, 2, 3, and 4. Your cost equation, what your cost equation is looking like right now. If everything's in sync, beautiful. What's our level? 41. If everything's not in sync, what's our level? 40. Okay? You'll start to do this on your own, and you'll start to get this as to why this is important up and over and down and under, right? You can look at your fire and ice. You can completely avoid this and just go based on patterns, but you're going to find a level of operation in being long, over 41, and short, under 41. The same that you will find, or any level that you establish, being long, over 42, being long, over 40. Did it work last night? You betcha. Beautiful move to the upside, right? About a 5% move since last night. So I'm encouraging you to inventory yourself, not be overly, please, don't be overly aggressive, but let's do a realistic assessment and improvement on, guys, just a tactical analysis, deconstruction and reconstruction on what it's costing you to be over, long over, or short under. Let's assess it, let's attack it, and let's change the framework of the next 6 to 8 to 12 months. I'm telling you, it's just an equation. That's it. In terms of your skill set, it's an equation. In terms of your, and guys, I'm talking about the amount of time spent in the dialogue between us, etc., the interaction. It's just an equation. It's just something that needs a solution, right? We have the right asset. Skill set is really there. The exchange is there, and lifestyle is there. So just understand, we're going to have more of these. We're going to have more of these, the better that all of these are. You're going to have more levels, right? You're going to be able to functionally operate more aggressively in the market. Whereas, remember, the specific, he who is handcuffed at the, is tied down, right? Chained to the floor of the Parthenon at the 23-6, because if I let it go, it's going to go the wrong direction on me. That's miserable, guys. That's no fun. He can't trade back to the preceding resistance. He can't move to the upside. He's got to hold on for dear life, right? So that's my statement today, is that the more that you advance your skill set, the more levels and quickly you'll be able to adjust. But if your skill set isn't quite there right now, there is no harm, no foul, period. Go for the larger. Go for the guys. And I'll say at the very base of it, it's breakout. What's maximum probability? 50%. True? Yes. 50% is going to be the max probability. So for the trader with very few skills, there are a lot of them. You guys know that. But for the very few skills, it's breakout, then max probability. I can't do any of this. It's max probability. For some traders, it's breakout, full probability. As we are hammering through this so hard, you guys know this. And it's a step to say no. At each level, we're long over, short under. Watch how it works out. How was Saturday on Bitcoin? How was it, guys? How'd it work out? It worked out pretty well, didn't it? 13% to the downside on Rune. I mean, Rune was just the talk of the town, wasn't it? I mean, even DOT moved. DOT never moves, does it? And DOT even moved 5%. INJ moved what? 20% to the downside? This was overnight while Bitcoin was rocking and rolling? Hammer time. 10% down on Sol. So from the guy who just nailed it on the stream call, I'm encouraging you directly to pay attention to the long over, short under with flash and carry trades. And I'm going to look forward to seeing what our results are going to be long term on this just a project, guys, in terms of this. And it is a project, and we've got a lot going into your operation in the market in 2024. Looking forward to, guys, a great continual level of success everywhere. And I'll shout out to
Venus, shout out to guys all in the back. What's up, Luke? What's up, J-Mac? Steve O, what's up? Listing on live stream, no problem. Let me see if, let me just tune in real quickly because I haven't been on the charts. But it's, the equation for today is what? The higher the level of skill, the more targets you're going to be able to navigate. If you're not navigating well yet, just zoom out. Break out, max probability, or break out, full completion, right? Golden pocket's worth a look. Don't get chewed up when you're out of sync, and let's get in sync. Guys, we got one shot at 2024, right? We got one shot at closing out 2023. From the forget the alts, Splashcast, have some fun, no problem, to Bitcoin rocking and rolling and really proving who she is, comparative to such, from that call, watch the way that this works out. I'm on the record. Watch the way that this works out with our over-unders. Let's watch. You guys excited? Watch how it works out. Watch how it works out. Man, we talked about that for an hour. I mean, that was so boring. We talked about it for an hour and a half. I know, guys, I know. I know you have 5 or 6 hours a day to look at your computer screen and your charts. You cannot be looking at something for it. We can't be going through something important to redirect the next number of hours and days and weeks and months and quarters and years in your trade execution. We can and we will and we are. And it's because we're going to do well. Watch this. Watch it. Just watch how this works out. Nice to see that engagement. And in terms of the ice cold short on top, you got a nice level of engagement. Bit of a push so far, but look at this. We're long over, short under 42, right? You got it. 1.3%, no problem. What do you have? You have a flash and a carry trade. True. You better believe it. Are you in the money? You got it. Can you trade that way? Or are you on the sidelines and no, it's just 50%? No, it's just a full percent. I'm waiting. I want your money to move. I want money to move in general. How do I want it to move? As much as possible, as quickly as possible, right? Move as much money at one time as you can, right? For as high amount of return with as little amount of risk. Big trade, big return, little risk in a short time frame, right? Flash trade, bam, bam. As much as you can trade in a short of amount of time. I don't want to sit here and have to wait through weeks and weeks and weeks. If I do have to wait through 30 days, 40 days, come on, 42 days, one trade? You start with 42 days being one trade. And then you get into, then you get into, man, I'm trading every morning. I've got half a dozen trades that work out. And so that's going to be something we're going to continue to work on, continue to watch this in process. What are we? We're under 42,000. Don't tell me it's not a good level to trade and that it didn't just trade. It just traded. The question is, can we trade it? So let's do that inventory. Let's get into it. I want to shout out to everybody. Just got a note. I want to shout out to, I think the youngest VIP in and around, that would be Sophie. Shout out to Sophie. Sophie, I hope you're doing well, having a great, great fourth quarter. Hugely important, hugely important. And for all the VIP, for everybody else, hope you're doing well. Had a great weekend with you guys. It was a lot of fun. Let's stay focused. Don't let anything derail you is going to be one big thing that I'm going to say. Do not let anything derail you, okay? As you look at what you want to achieve, anywhere you want to achieve it. And I'm just going to shout out to Luke, shout out to Venus, and you guys both shouted out in the chats, and I appreciate you. Luke, I appreciate your involvement in VIP, my man. Hey, it's been a while. Let me put Luke here in the chats, and let me put Venus always. You guys are doing awesome, and I'm just really, really, really excited that we're able to cover long over, short under. Just watch. Just watch. And thank you guys for spending the time and investing it in your, and guys, thank you for investing it in you is the big deal. I'm not here to brag about getting something right or otherwise. And I want to be right about INJ just collapsing on everybody. No, but it did. Want to be right about, well, you know, focus on Bitcoin. We'll look at Rooney just collapsed 13%. You know how many trade groups got hurt here? How many, guys? Do you mean all the trade groups that you just went up into, you know, let's say 6 months ago or 8 months ago or 2 years ago? Luke, you know, like those guys get rocked and rolled. They just got absolutely hammered, didn't they? Maybe a little aggressive line. I drew up to that line there, 12.4% or 12% on Rune. But yeah, no, those guys are getting rocked and rolled. I guarantee you, right? Those massive trade groups with all the members and everything else, and what's really popular and where's everybody out? They are getting hammered just like this. So thank you for investing the quality time in your own, hey guys, in your own operation in the market, because that's our operation in the market. Hey, that's exciting. And to watch it develop in 2024, there's nothing I'd rather do, guys, than to be a part of that and at a very, very, very big level. So let's get it done. Let's continue to do it. And some of the tools that we're going to be bringing, good gosh. I mean, we already have some nice tools, but good gosh, what we have on the map 2024, let's set some records. And let's maybe kind of do it quietly. We don't need everybody to be in on that. We want to know our team. We just do. We want to know the guys and girls around. And we do, and it's a pleasure to know each one of you. And guys, I'll let you go. So we're 42,000, long over. I know, but what pattern? You're going to get into it. Well, what pattern? Okay, 42,000, long over, short under, true or false? How did it work? It paid. It did. Let's continue to see if we can continue to climb these stairs. 44,685, nice. 48,000, coup de grace, guys. That's the charge to level, 48,000. We have a lot of hurdles to get up to that level, and I want you guys to profit along the way. So we'll let you go. I'm gonna go hit the iron. Great weekend. Way to trade over 37.5 long. Are you still over 37.5 long? If you got to let it rock and roll, let it rock and roll. I just hate being over flat top resistance. Is true? I hate it. You guys know that. In general, I just don't like it. But it did help you stay in some trades because we cleared the 37.5. We cleared the 40 in the back last night and said, look, because we could have gone back down to this level. So see what it did for us. We could easily have gone back down to this level. This is a clear short for us. But what did we get? Well, why don't we throw into the mix? Over 40K is what? Long. Yeah? Boom. Psychologically restructuring yourself is hugely important, and to the extent that you can do it, when you do it, to the downside and you're in a bull run, you catch a 25 to 35% trade, to the downside, you are going to achieve King Kong status. Bottom line, watch. It's going to be exciting to see, and we just take it the next step by step. 42,000. Just, guys, hold it lightly. Don't be too stressed out. You're all doing awesome, and I'm excited about the action in Bitcoin. This is London with Bitcoin Spike and VIP Trader. Let's have a great week. We'll cover Tesla, NVDA to the extent that required, but what a great time to be involved and focused on crypto. We'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.